You're going to make money and you're going to spend money. Budget doesn't change that. What it does change is how you think about your money. Many of us don't think about how our day-to-day spending will impact our priorities until we find that we don't have enough money to fund those priorities. You know you need to replace your computer, but for some reason you find yourself with no cash to spare when your laptop finally gives up the ghost. Enter debt, ready to selflessly save you from your predicament as long as you pay it back on time at an inflated price. A budget gives us the ability to always keep our priorities in view, ensuring that today's spending decisions are in line with tomorrow's needs and goals, and making sure we're not counting on debt to save the day. How do we do this, you ask? Well, let's talk about a little something I like to call the pause. The pause is that gap of time between thinking, I think I might buy that banjo, and actually throwing down dollars for that banjo. How long does it take you to switch from thinking about spending to actually spending? Some people are used to a very brief pause. They see it, they like it, they want it, they get it. And let's be honest, it feels good to buy stuff we want. But what we want right now doesn't always jive with what we ultimately want. Your budget helps keep your priorities intact by lengthening that gap between wanting to buy and spending. We see it, we pause to check our budgets, we decide if buying this thing is in line with our priorities, and we get it. Or we don't. That little pause gives us time to ask ourselves, does this purchase line up with my priorities, or is it gonna set me back? This is important because mindless spending tends to breed debt, while intentional spending tends to prevent it. Now, let's take our own pause here, because you might have just heard me say, staying out of debt is simple, just never buy anything fun, ever again. But let's back that train up. Your budget isn't there to make you feel guilty and deprive you. It's there to offer you freedom and perspective. It holds you accountable to the priorities you have and helps you to see how this spending decision will impact those priorities. It will probably take some time to get used to pausing when you see something you want, but you're developing a habit that you'll use for the rest of your life. So it's okay if it takes a while to get used to. Speaking of habits, a lot of our spending decisions are exactly that. And sometimes they're bad habits. Part of spending money intentionally is looking at your spending habits and questioning the assumptions behind them. And I mean all of them. You've been living inside your current spending habits for a while, so it might be tough at first to imagine cutting anything out. But as you practice pausing and reviewing your priorities, you'll find out pretty quickly what really matters to you. With that knowledge, you can decide what about your spending needs to change. Now, when you hit that pause, it can be helpful to ask some specific questions. Let's start with this one. Do I have to spend this money right now? If the answer is yes, then follow up with, do I have to spend this much money right now? That might feel kind of broad, so here are two other ways to ask that question that might be more helpful. Can I go one more day without buying this? You're not saying you'll never buy it. You're just seeing if your desire to buy it stands the test of time. Or you could ask, if I don't buy this thing, what else could I do with these dollars? Maybe this $4 coffee could go toward saving up for a nice coffee maker. Or maybe the money you were going to spend on that sweater could actually move you a step closer to debt freedom. These questions are a simple way you can evaluate your spending in the moment and keep your priorities in focus and intact. Now, if you're really looking to get into the nitty-gritty, we do have some more specific ideas for cutting spending. But remember, these are just some ideas. Pick and choose what works for you. Dining out. Make dining out more of a special occasion by cutting back or even eliminating it for a while. If you need some ideas on how to replace your weekly sushi, well, we've got a totally free Saving Money on Groceries workshop to give you some ideas. So check that out. Cut cable. Hey, 2007 called. I wanted to let you know that streaming exists and is significantly cheaper. Just make sure you don't go overboard by getting every streaming service available. You're probably fine with just one or two. Spending freeze. You want to get crazy? Like real crazy? Just stop spending money on something altogether. For instance, can you get by on your current wardrobe without buying any new clothes? Negotiate lower interest rates. Call some of your creditors and ask them for a lower interest rate. Just like me asking my wife on a first date, one extremely awkward conversation could reap significant benefits for your future. Borrow or rent. Things, not money. If you need something, odds are you have a friend or neighbor who would be happy to lend it to you. Plus, neighbors and friends will often accept currencies other than dollars, like home-baked cookies or a quality conversation. Put every bill under a microscope. Nothing gets a free pass here. Can you drop some of your car insurance or switch to a better company? Could you air dry your clothes to save on electricity? Could you swap out your phone service with something free, like Google Voice? Look for opportunities to cut spending on your bills, and you will find something. Use less. Ditch the plastic forks and paper towels and stick with options that don't need to be replaced regularly. Or take a page from the dad handbook and try to avoid messing with that thermostat. Little changes can really add up over time. Share a car. If you can get by with one car, then selling your other one could seriously boost your cash flow. And you help the earth. Look at you. Downsize. Put your survivalist skills to the test and try moving to a cheaper place. Not only will you save money on the mortgage or the rent, but you might reduce utility costs or shorten up your commute. These are just some ideas for cutting spending, and I bet you can come up with a bunch more. But whatever you decide to do, that money you just freed up can now go to paying down your debt, speeding up its now inevitable demise. But don't forget, your budget is ultimately what lets you take control of your money and your spending. By scrutinizing your spending decisions, you'll find your spending beginning to line up with your priorities, allowing you to pursue the goals that you care about. And at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. We're not trying to become monks counting grains of rice. We're trying to cut out everything that's getting in the way of us reaching our goals and honoring our priorities. Cutting spending may feel like you're making your life poorer at first, but you might just find that it makes it a whole lot richer.